Hello. It's been a while since I've done one of these. A live stream. Right. Not many people watching, as normal. It's not as if I need this for the views. I just want to get my ideas out there. Testing out a new mic, so I don't know how loud it is, but I'm going to just go ahead and chat anyway. So today I'm going to talk about what characters I would want in the sequel. I'll probably go over a bit of details as to how they'd fit or what I would do to not make it a cluster like the was it Mortal Kombat Battle of the Realms or Battle for the Realms. I've talked to a few people and they seem to think with that many characters it would be a cluster, but you don't need to go into an extensive backstory with every single character. So take, for instance, Striker. Do you really want to know his entire backstory? You know who he is. You know what his job is. Does he really need a long introduction? No, he just needs to be there to kick some ass. So you can get away with some things. That's the only thing that some of them are going to need more time. The likes of Koi Lang. He's going to need a bit of time. Same with the likes of, I'm going to say, Nightwolf. He's going to need probably a little bit more than a Striker. Who else? Fujin. Everyone knows he's going to be a god on screen. You're going to see him flying. Raiden's going to say, you know, could you do this, that, and the other for me? Can you take over from me in Earth while I'm overlooking the fighters in the tournament? You know, there's things like that. You don't need to go into an extensive backstory on every single character. When it comes to, say, the likes of Katana, you're going to want to follow her because, you know, her arc is, depends how they play it. You know, it could be under the spell of Shao Kahn to block her memories, or, you know, she's playing two sides and she's waiting for a moment. It depends how they want to play it. So she's going to need a bit more of a background story, more of a focus, because, you know, she wants to, you know, save Edenia and break it off from Outworld. So depending how they want to play her story, a character like Katana is going to need a bit more playtime. Same with the likes of, I'm going to say, Quan Chi, because I'm going to want Quan Chi in this film. I want him to play with an extensive side role. You know he's there. You know he's pulling the strings, but you don't need him there all the time. You just know he's one of the ones pulling the big strings. I'm also going to want characters like Scarlet, because it's going to be hard to put in characters into this film that you could beat or kill off. So if I start with Koi Lang. So Bihan is presumed dead. And the Lin Kuei, presuming that he's dead, kind of elevate Tundra, which is Koi Lang, to the mantle of Sub-Zero. They see him as Bihan's successor. In the believing that Bihan is dead. So now that he's assumed the mantle of Sub-Zero, Koi Lang's going to feel that he wants to know who killed his older brother. So to lay some groundwork, I'm going to need Koi Lang, which is now Sub-Zero, to go against the wishes of the Grandmaster to go and pursue his older brother's killer, which kind of like starts the rift between him and the Grandmaster. So he's going to want to go off, and you're going to want to follow him, and you're going to want to see the Lin Kuei compound, or you see couches in the background like smoke. You're going to see little things like that. So again, it's laying the groundwork. I know that I'm not going to bog this movie with so many characters that you're going to want to know their background stories. So you're going to want to just sprinkle, because you're going to want characters that suit the story. If you're going to want all these characters, it's going to bog the story down with too many, character backgrounds, that there's going to be no story at all. So, you know that Sub-Zero, Koi Lang, wants to find the killer of his brother. So, he's going against the wishes. So, there's a story in the making there. He's not going to go to the tournament because, in my idea, with the returning characters back from the dead, by the will of the elder gods, because both sides have broken the rules. So you both suffer. So everyone has to come back. So Bihan is back, but the Lin Kuei and Koi Lang don't know that. They're just back. So he goes off. More on his involvement that I've got for him later. So the next person I'm going to bring in would be Nightwolf. He's a surefire, with the pictures of him in the first film. Again, you see him prominent, he's there. So why would he be in this film? So I've put down, basically he's there because to preserve the burial ground or grounds of his ancestors. That's why he has to get involved. Would I have him involved in the tournament? No. He's not chosen to be in the tournament. He doesn't have a marking. This is just my take. He'd be there for the secondary plot. He's much more needed there at the moment. But the reason to bring him in is because if Earth falls, his ancestors fall, the spirits and everything else, it's all wasted, it's all gone. There's going to be nothing left of him, his tribe, the mystical powers that he's imbued with, the soul that's inhabiting the body, going back hundreds and hundreds of years, it's gone. So he has a reason to be involved, to be in this film. Striker. I'd bring in Striker. Again, he wouldn't be in the tournament itself. He'd play a secondary plot role. So he would be a person that wanted to go to be more than just a police officer. So he wanted to be SWAT team member. He then wanted to push up to be in the military, but decided to stay where he was because his abilities were needed more where he was. So the abilities I'd give him are superb aim and anticipation. He can anticipate things, so it's quick reactions. This is what I'd give him. This is the ability I'd give him. Instead of just giving him a gun, a taser, a few grenades, you could tell why he's not one of the most beloved characters in the Mortal Kombat franchise. So he's really down there. So you need to bolster him, but give him a reason to be in the film. Again, he's not one of these characters that needs an extensive background, telling. So he's there to help bolster the secondary plot device. Scarlet. I'd bring in Scarlet because in the tournament itself, it's going to be hard to bring in characters that need to be killed off or should be killed off or will be killed off. And then later on down the line, you've hardly got any characters left to play with. But I feel with a character like Scarlet, they can be beaten. Not killed, but beaten to bring them back later. Now, I'm going to alter Scarlet's background story just a little bit. And we know that she was created by the dark will of Shao Kahn, being a blood mage. What I would do with the character is give it that immortal aspect where she can't be killed. She can be beaten, though. So we know that she can create blood, and she's probably made of blood and all this stuff. So the character can be weakened to the point where they can't continue. And if you want to kill them off, I suppose you probably could kill her off, but she'd still return. She'd come back. She'd still form back. So say she fought the likes of Liu Kang in the tournament, and Liu Kang finds it hard to beat her because she's she could split into two and form back, and it doesn't matter what Liu Kang does to her. She seems to not die. But then Liu Kang's fire abilities kick in, and he starts burning her and burning the blood, which is weakening her to the point where she could potentially die. And it can get to the point where she is at that point where if she doesn't give up or surrender, tap out or whatever, she could potentially die. This is her realizing that she can die if she's burnt. You're burning away at the blood that she's made up of. So it's a good little thing to use. So you don't want to kill off, but the potential's there to kill off. So he could potentially form a brutality. So he could beat up to the point where she has to just melt away and, fight another day. That's what I'd do. So she serves a purpose, because if you're going to keep killing off characters, there's going to be no one left to fight in the tournament or to use later on. You can't just keep bringing in newer characters like Aaron Black. You can't bring him into the first tournament, kill him off because you need fatalities, and then what you're supposed to do with him later. Now, with a character like Aaron Black, I would hold off, because if you're going to introduce characters like Striker, who's good with guns, good superb aim and accuracy and anticipation, I'd also give that ability to the likes of Aaron Black, which then later on in sequels, you could pit them two towards each other in a superb gun battle. Do you see where I'm going? So again, I don't want Aaron Black this early. I do want to lay the groundwork to have him there. You could have cameos. I do want him there. But later on, to have a purpose. The purpose would be to go against the likes of Striker, who you've introduced into the next film, into this new sequel and have that potential that they could have a very good gun battle. So instead of just having the martial arts and weapons, hand-to-hand weapons, you could throw in a John Wick style gun battle with Aaron Black. There you go. You've got something fresh, something new to a live action Mortal Kombat film. Just hold off Aaron Black and just introduce him and then have him in a new film after that. You don't want to keep bringing in new characters that have been freshly introduced into the games and bring them in so early into this new Mortal Kombat story. So that's my take on Aaron Black. Just hold off. Hold off. Now, can you class Noob Saibot as a new character? You probably could. So, again, I would want him held off. With the likes of Bihan being brought back to life through the will of the Elder Gods, have him come back as Sub-Zero. Why? Because Scorpion didn't beat Bihan by himself. There's no definitive victory. It's tarnished because the likes of Cole Young helped. So Bihan would most likely rub that in the face of Hanzo and say, you can't beat me one-on-one. You couldn't beat me before. You couldn't beat me then. You can't beat me now. So with the likes of Bihan coming back and Scorpion potentially challenging him to a fight in Mortal Kombat, you could have that definitive fight and have Scorpion get that victory over Bihan for then Bihan to be sent to the Netherrealm and then form your Noob Saibot. Your Noob Saibot will be there. Again, you hold him off. Hold off Noob Saibot. Tease him through Bihan's death. His body, not his soul, his body being sent to the Netherrealm. And the remains of the body, because they're going to be either burnt to a crisp or shredded. I'm going to say burnt, so you're going to need Scorpion to toast him. Have the energies of the Netherrealm affect everyone different. So how would it affect Bihan? With Bihan, I would say the energies would affect the corpse of Bihan different and feed on the negative energies to revive and bring a different being. Noob Saibot would be totally different being with the mind of what was Bihan before, but it's totally different. There's no freezing powers. It's all just new energies. So you've got it's a new character formed from the energies of the Netherrealm, affecting the negative energies still flowing through the rotten corpse, toasted corpse of Bihan. But again, hold him off, tease him. You don't need him this early, because then you're depriving Scorpion his definitive victory over Bihan. You're taking that away from him. I'd hold off. So, who else would I bring in? Baraka. Bring in Baraka, because, he's going to be a general of the Tarkatans, and we know how much of a whipping boy he's for Shang Tsung, as well as a link to the Outworld, being the general of the armies of Outworld, under Shao Kahn. So it'd be a good way to start to introduce Outworld characters more. Would I have him in the tournament? Yes. He'd be in the tournament. Would I kill him off? No. I'd have him severely beaten. Who would I have him fight against? I'd have him fight against the likes of a Johnny Cage. And I'd have Johnny Cage beat him, but when he's, prompted to either finish him or, he's got the chance to kill him off, Johnny Cage ain't going to want to kill him. Johnny Cage isn't a killer. So he's going to give that mercy to the likes of Baraka, because he's going to think that, well, why do I need to kill him? He's beaten. The victory is mine. So he doesn't need to kill him off. So again, you're showing the brutality of a victory. You don't need to keep killing people off. But Baraka, he gets walked off and he knows he can be beaten, and it pisses him off, and it makes him more dangerous in a Outworld environment where he's not held under rules. So the next person I'll bring in, again, Johnny Cage. He's going to be there. We know he's going to be there. He's going to be in the tournament. I'd have him fight Baraka. He's going to beat Baraka. But he's not a killer. He's there to show off his skills. But his arc would be he wants to fight. He wants that feeling of a real fight now, again. Because it was his claim to fame. Being good at fights, being good at martial arts, beating people. He had that rush of winning. When he went into films, he obviously had to hold back. He was playing up to the camera. Now, he's got that chance to have that rush again, to fight in a real tournament. But he doesn't believe that it's supernatural, even though he himself has a supernatural element that he doesn't like to expose to anybody. Now, he can let that loose. He thinks that if he shows it, then he could possibly be, I don't know, kicked out of films. He could go into conspiracy theory of, the government will experiment on me. They want to know where this power comes from. You could go into that. But now in the tournament, you could show him letting loose. Now he can show his is it Aztecian powers? So he can now show the likes of that off. Now that he's the chains are off. Who else have I got? I have the likes of Jarek. You want to bring in some characters that are close to the timeline and would kind of like serve a purpose. Now, how would the likes of Jarek serve a purpose? Being a member of the Black Dragon and Kano presumably killed or missing, of course they're gonna want to know where Kano is, which would bring the likes of Jarek on board to say, where is Kano? Would I have him in the tournament? No. I'd have him in the secondary plot. It'd obviously be fighting with the likes of Fujin, Nightwolf, Striker. In the secondary plot, I'd also have the likes of Jax, Cole Young, because my secondary plot overall is an invasion from the Netherrealm. Why the Netherrealm? They're not under any rules set out by the Elder Gods. With the likes of the tournament, because it's between Outworld and Earthrealm, the rules are set for them. The Netherrealm aren't set under any rules. But there you go. There's an invasion from the Nether Realm, and that's where I'd have the secondary plot. So that's why I'm splitting off these characters, because the secondary plot is not just a cameo for these new characters. They serve a purpose. It's more of an extended introduction. You show them off. This is what they're here for. And they're there to stem the NetherRealm invasion in the hopes that Liu Kang wins the tournament, which would then break a deal, a bond that Shang Tsung has and Quan Chi has. What deal is this? The deal would be that because the Elder Gods are bringing people back to life, punishing both sides, it also takes the souls that Shang Tsung has been stealing of the Earthrealm warriors, including Kung Lao, and Quan Chi comes to put the soul of Kung Lao in a limbo. Now he has that as a bargaining tool to hold over the likes of Shang Tsung. Shang Tsung at this point, because the souls have been taken away, he's now withered. He's now looking old. So you could have the white-haired Shang Tsung, the older looking Shang Tsung. He knows now he's punished by the Elder Gods. But with the likes of Quan Chi holding the soul of Kung Lao in a limbo, using it as a bargaining chip, he can now, ask Shang Tsung, do this for me and I will give you the soul of Kung Lao. So the deal is to weaken Earthrealm to the point where, that he can't defend himself. And, if Shang Tsung can open up a portal or help Quan Chi open up a portal from the NetherRealm via the NetherRealm to Earthrealm to create an invasion, then it gives Outworld a better chance to weaken Earth for them to win, so they think. But Shang Tsung hasn't got a choice because, he's holding the soul of Quan Chi over him. So that's where that deal comes in. That's why you have the tournament and then you have the secondary plot. The secondary plot would also have the likes of Cole Young there spearheading the defense. I've already gone into Cole Young, how he's developed his powers and, developed his defensive abilities, in the cage and outside the cage when it comes to his abilities. So I don't need to get into that. With the likes of Fujin, he would be there to help defend Earth while Raiden is overlooking his fighters in the tournament, making sure that there's no shenanigans there. So he can't be in two places at once. He can't, because Shang Tsung is always trying to kill his fighters. So Raiden needs to be there. So he's he's asking for Fujin to be there in his stead in Earthrealm to help fight against the invasion of the NetherRealm. Now, why won't the Elder Gods stop the invasion from the NetherRealm? It's because the NetherRealm aren't held down by any rules whatsoever. The only reason that there's an invasion going on and there's a portal leading there, and by Shang Tsung, with the help of Quan Chi, it's because they not held down by any rules, so they can get away with that. they're not held down by the rules of Mortal Kombat, because it's not Mortal Kombat. It's a straight up invasion from a realm that the elder gods have no control over. Whatever happens there, the elder gods just see it as, you know, a place that's under your boot. They don't have any sort of leeway, no control. They don't care what happens there. It's a dead realm. They don't care. This is the play that Shinnok has. But again, you know, you're just laying ground seeds. That's all I'm doing, laying the ground seeds for the likes of Shinnok in a future film. But Quan Chi's there as a sort of side character, but you know he's always there. He's the one that's making these demands, these deals. So of course you're gonna, you know, it's gonna lead to Liu Kang winning, or you think he's gonna win. I don't know how they're gonna play it. Which will then break that deal. It breaks the deal because, you know, what's the point in the deal still going on when, you know, Outworlders lost the tournament? The deal breaks, which then closes the portal from the Netherrealm to Earthrealm, and the defense of Earthrealm is, you know, victorious. They've held off long enough for the likes of Liu Kang and the rest of the Earthrealm warriors to win the tournament and preserve Earthrealm for another generation. So they say. So there we go. Who else would I have? Now, I've got here Revenant Kung Lao. Now, why have I got Revenant Kung Lao? Because the soul is being held by Quan Chi. It's not being returned back to the body. But also, the body has been taken to the Netherrealm. It's now being inhabited by a demon soul from the Netherrealm that retains the memories and thoughts of Kung Lao. So it's going to use them thoughts, them skills, them thoughts of, you know, knowing the likes of Liu Kang, Cole Young, Jax. It's going to use all of that. And it's going to use that body as a vessel to spearhead the attack, the invasion against Earthrealm. So that's why I've got him there. So it's not just wave after wave of demons coming through just in the hopes it's going to take over Earthrealm. It's going to be led by the likes of the body, the corpse of Kung Lao. So that's why I've got him there, because it serves a purpose. It all serves a purpose. Who else have I got? There's been talk of, well, people want the likes of Sammo Hung to play Bo Rai Cho. As much as I wanted that about 10 years ago, unfortunately, Sammo Hung has, he's breaking down. It's unfortunate, but that's life. He's too aged. He's too broken down. He's not going to be able to do what I would like the character to do. And it's unfortunate, but that's just life. So you'd want someone that's kind of known and kind of looks like the character now, which is I kind of went with the likes of Benedict Wong. It's funny because in the likes of Doctor Strange, the film Doctor Strange, he's almost playing like a younger version of Bo Rai Cho. So I'd have him play that role where, you know, it's a bit more demanding. But I don't want him in there doing a lot. It's more of an extended cameo. Because again, I don't want too many characters there without a purpose. Why would you want Bo Raicho there? Pardon me. There's not much of a purpose why you'd want a Bo Raicho there for a long period of time. An extended cameo would work because, again, you're laying a ground seed for another sequel. You could have him there and say, right, the reason why he hasn't been around, during the first film, is because he's been in Outworld, helping to fight against Shao Kahn's armies in rebel attacks. So you could say the reason why that's why he wasn't there during the first film. He was preoccupied. During this tournament film in the sequel, again, he's still in Outworld, but he's beat back the armies, and he can't be there at the moment, but you could show that if he's in Outworld, he's going to be there. He can help in Outworld. But he doesn't serve a purpose in this sequel. I feel he wouldn't serve a purpose. Because again, with the likes of bringing Bo Raicho, he's going to need an extended background. And it's going to take time away from what we need with the likes of Johnny Cage, Liu Kang's arc. You're going to want him to shine more than the rest. So, again, with the likes of Bo Raicho, just an extended cameo. Other than that, I don't think I have any more. People say to me, with these many new characters, it's going to be too bogged down. It's going to be like Battle of the Realms. That's what they think. But again, if I say to them, some characters need more or less background, they just need to be there. They need a purpose to be there to then use on later. You don't want them to be in the tournament, because then each of them's going to need a fight in the tournament. It's going to make the film 3, 4, 5 hours long. So there's no point in them being in the tournament. So if you need new characters to build upon in future sequels, I would have them in a secondary plot where they can all be together, they're all fighting against an oncoming invasion. You showcase their skills, you give a reason why they're there, and it serves a purpose. But if you have them in the tournament, again, you can have about 16 to 20 fights. It's not going to work. With that many fights, then, story be damned. There's going to be no story progression. It's just going to be fight after fight after fight after fight until it withers it down to the, Liu Kang versus Shang Tsung, and there's going to be no storyline. It's just going to be fighting. So, I think I've laid that out to the best of my abilities. If you want to know more, I'd like to, ask for your questions. How would this work? How would that work? How would you do this? How would you incorporate that character? I can get into more detail. It's up to you if you want to know more details. If you want me to express more details on certain characters, how would I play on them more? Why would I want them there? Ask me, and I will give those details. So, with that being said, I think I'm done. I think I'm done here. So, there's no one here at the minute, but again, I make these videos to get my ideas out there. I've said the characters I want in there. I've given my reasons why or how I'd want them there. So now it's in your hands now if you accept it or not. Of course, I'm biased towards my own ideas. So I'll leave it there. I'm going to say thank you for watching the video. Again, if you want me to go with more details in another video, let me know. I will do that. So thank you everyone for watching this video. And I will see you next time if there's anything more that comes, from the news in terms of the new movie. We've not heard anything at all. There's no news, but no news is good news. So, but in this case, it's not. No news is bad news. We need some news. So thank you very much. Your view is mine. And I'll see you in the next one. If there will be a next one, you never know. So thank you very much. And I will see you next time. Bye.